In this video, we're gonna be putting together some graduation shirts on the Roland BN20A behind me, as well as talking about dealing with customers and artwork. I think this is an important conversation for us to have. How you guys doing? My name is Stan Banks from T-Shirts Side Hustle, and I help people start t-shirt businesses from home, wherever you at. And like I said, man, we're gonna jump right into the computer and get to artwork right after the intro. Okay, let's jump right into it. But before we do, you guys know what you do for me. I need you to like this video, comment, subscribe, do all of that good stuff, because I make videos like this all the time. Yes, I mean all the time. All right, so I'm just going to jump in here. I'm in Photoshop right now because I just had to crop down the photo, and now I want to create cut lines, but I need to remove the background. So in order to do that, I'm just going to grab my magic wand tool here. I'm going to select the outer edge, and then I'm going to drop a layer mask, and that should be good. But what I'm also going to do in this case is I'm going to grab this and I'm going to do a color overlay, just so that I can get a quick cut line for this entire image here. And what I want to do is I want to brush her arm out. Let me just turn my color overlay off. Her arm here is kind of weird, but nonetheless, nothing I can do about it. This was designed by her daughter, and she's just like, use it and do what you gotta do. And I'm like, all right, cool, I can use it. So her arm's just gonna be like awkwardly cut off here. Let me zoom in a little bit. I'll take this arm off right here. Bow. And get that. Let that crop right there. All right, file, quick export. Just some graduation shirts, and I'm doing this grad 1, and then I'm gonna save that, and then I'm going to do this overlay here just so I can get an easy cut line here. Export grad 1 overlay, just put an O there. All right, so now I can go into Illustrator and I can go ahead and create some cut lines, and then we're gonna have a conversation as I go over to the BN20 and I prep this. So all I did there was just make it simple on myself so that I can bring this stuff into here. I'm gonna change this to inches. I'm going to do a 11-inch height. I guess that's about an 8-inch width. We'll see what happens when I bring the designs in. And then I'm just going to drag this one in here, and I'm going to drag this one in here. All right. All right, so got both of these, and we got 7 of these bad boys to do. So it might be a little wider. I don't know where my 2 bars is. There we go. Alright, so I'm gonna make 2 layers. Let me just make sure that they are perfectly aligned with each other. Alright, cut that off. I'm going to image trace this. I'm going to expand. Bow. Group all of this together, make sure it's grouped. Object artboards, fit to selected art. I'm going to object path. I'm going to offset path. I'm going to actually, I don't know if I can do this or not, minus. Yeah, all right, so I want to do minus 0.25. All right, that should be good. Okay. My group. All right. The reason I did that is I want to just roughly, I want to have like a little bit of inset on it. So I don't want it to, I won't have any white peeking. So go to my swatches now. And I'm gonna have to load a swatch. I'm gonna load my rolling swatches, and I'm going to make the color here that pink. I'm going to put that on top as well. And then I'm going to flip it. And then I'm going to drop the stroke down to a 0.5. Why? Because I just like the 0.5. So that's going to be my cut lines. All right, so this will be fine pretty much, because what we end up having is we're going on a white shirt, so we don't got to trip too much. We just want to make sure that it's going all the way around the edge here. I don't even want to go in here and kind of mess with these points or anything on this. Like, you could go in here and you can add points, so you can start to play with it. So export, and then let's save as, and then we're gonna save it as a PDF so we can get read over there by that computer. And then we are going to put it inside of our sticker folder, which should be right here, because that one was red. Grad 1. Cool. Cool. All right, so I just did the computer artwork. Now we're gonna head over to the machine and we're gonna swap out the stuff, and I'm gonna just talk to you briefly about what it is that we should kind of like consider when we're dealing with customers. So let's jump to the rolling over here and let's talk about it. All right, so now that I'm actually got the file ready to be cut and everything like that, I just wanted to jump into here and I wanted to talk to you guys about dealing with customers and when it comes to artwork. My thing here is, you know, there's too much back and forth when it comes to customers, and I know that all of you guys don't have the experience of dealing with artwork, but at the end of the day, the more back and forth that you have with a customer, the more likely you are to actually lose out on that customer completing the order, right? So here's what you should ask, right? A customer sends you some artwork, you need vector artwork, or you need the best quality possible. They probably sending you a screenshot like this design was, and I knew this was kind of manageable, but we always want to try to get the best file possible when it comes to actually getting some artwork that we can use, right? So with that being said, what I actually asked her was, do you have better artwork? I need to grab a rubber band real quick. All right, so awesome. I found a rubber band finally. Chunks was in here playing around, and you know, she playing with rubber bands and all of that kind of stuff. But nonetheless, so a customer sends you some artwork. They done sent you a screenshot of a screenshot, like I just got with this job here, and you just try to get the best file possible that you can from the customer. So I just asked her, because this is not something that I can redesign, nor does it need to be vector with the images in there, but I just asked her, hey, can you send me, you know, the file that's not a screenshot, whoever designed it? Do you have the file from the graphic designer, right? Can you forward me that email, right? That's gonna give you the best possible chance to get the best possible file when it comes to actually having something ready to print from your customers. If you need a vector, the best chance is if they had some graphic designer from wherever they got them from actually send them the files in their email. If they can find that original email, forward you that email, you're gonna get everything that you need to go there, and you also might just find yourself a graphic designer that you can have on deck if you like the work, right? One of the things that we end up doing is we go back and forth. Oh, I need vector, I need a better artwork file, I need this, I need that. But these people are not graphic designers. They have no idea when you asking for an AI file or a PNG file. They got no idea what it is that you're asking them for. And when that back and forth happens, what's the likelihood of this person who doesn't know what you're looking for or doesn't know anything about these file types? The only chance that you have is that the graphic designer that they work with did the right thing and sent them the right stuff to their email. Maybe they can reach out to this graphic designer, and if they can, then that's awesome. But you want to create as least friction as you possibly can. With that being said, you're going to want to then just say, hey, all right, no problem. I see your artwork. It's going to cost you X amount of dollars to get this artwork redrawn, right? I'm going to get the artwork redrawn. I want to alleviate the headache. I don't want to have a bunch of back and forth and keep it going. So ask for the original file from the graphic designer. And if they don't have that, just give them a fee to have it redrawn. Now you can get your vectors redrawn at marathon.supply, and you can use code ARTHELP, ARTHELP, and get 40% off 1-2 color simple vectors on the website. You can go right there, upload the art, get it redrawn for yourself, or you can go to Fiverr or anywhere else that you may want to do. But no matter what you do, stop passing that back on to your customers. Let me get this set up, and I got one more tip for you guys. Go to File, add new job to queue, me in QB, right there, just open. I think this one gets cut at I think this get cut at 175. Okay. I think this get cut at 175. Let's see if I got anything else that I cut on a shirt. I know. One pass, 125. Okay. And then we are going to print. Let's print one, make sure it's right, and we're good to go. And we back. All right, guys, so I wanted to give you guys one last tip while this thing finished up. We got the prints right here. They are looking great and amazing. All we got to do now is pretty much mask them up and go ahead and press them onto a shirt. This is ready to be pressed. This is why I think most people should not be considering buying a DTF printer. Rather, they should be thinking about buying a BN20A. And if they're doing shirts, if they're doing more, I don't think you need the BN20 at all. Not a fan of BN20D, but nonetheless, I think you should be looking at buying the BN20A over buying a DTF printer for most people, because I wasn't running this for quite some time. I haven't ran a clean in on it. I haven't done anything, and it is ready to go and print. So back to the last tip that I have for you guys in this video, and it's not to create stress when you got big orders. So we recently got a big order that I'm actually pressing back here, about a $10,000 order. My boy got, we're kind of like sharing a job. I'm printing with him or whatever and doing a lot of stuff together. So nonetheless, he's like, hey, do we charge it for artwork? I'm like, listen, if you want to go back and get $200 because they didn't have any of the files for their stuff, I said, we can go back and get $200, whatever the case is. But for a big order, sometimes you just eat the cost when it comes to redrawing their artwork or whatever. You can include it in there and void it out. All of the same stuff that I talked about in the live video when I was talking about this. But pile up the invoice. So, you know, go ahead and put artwork. You know, I had to redraw 5 designs for this thing. Put it on there and then put void it out. Make them feel good about what it is that they're getting. And at the end of the day, if it comes down to like some type of big problem with funds or anything like that, you can always just add like 25, 50 cents to a shirt for artwork. And that way you don't have to kind of pass that on if that's something that you're not comfortable with. These are the things and tactics that people use when it comes down to like amortization. Ain't shit free, right? So when companies say, hey, it's free shipping or it's free setup, they ain't giving you nothing free. All they're doing is taking that cost for the setup, $25, $35 for the screen, and they're doing what you call amortizing it into the price break. So at a lower quantity, it's going to be a higher price because that setup fee is going to be, you know, let's say a minimum of 25 pieces and the screen fee is 25. Each of those extra prints are going to be $1 more, right? If you go down to 100, now you're talking about 50 cents more in the sense of amortizing that into that quantity break. Makes sense? All right, so let me know if you're still causing your customers problems. Do you do this? Do you charge your customers? Are you nervous about charging your customers for artwork? Let me know down in the comments below. This has been your boy Stan Banks from T-Shirt Side Hustle, and as always, Make sure you go visit marathon.supply for all of your supplies and your artwork service needs. Peace.
The T-shirt Side Hustle team would like to give a huge shout out to its contributing members.